Hello, this is Economic Competition and the Role of the Government, Section B, Market Failures. Our prioritized standards, Economic Standard 33. Objectively, we're going to identify the different types of market failures that are possible. A marketplace tends to work most effectively in highly competitive industries, but market failures occur when there are deviations from highly competitive industries. Although I should point out, even if you had perfect competition, that would not actually completely eliminate all problems of market failures, just most of them. While some market failures are going to be very detrimental, as you might suspect by the name, market failures, others can actually be beneficial for some groups. So not all market failures are bad for all people. The main forms of market failure include inadequate competition, externalities, public goods, inadequate information, and resource immobility. Now, without competition, there is actually no guarantee that scarce resources will be allocated to their most productive uses. So, despite the best efforts to avoid a complete lack of competition in an industry, sometimes it actually cannot be avoided. And when this happens, it is considered to be a natural monopoly, which is when one producer can actually supply total output in an industry at a lower cost than can multiple producers dividing the production. So when we talk about utility companies, that is commonly considered a monopoly. A lot of those companies are actually considered natural monopolies. Why? Well, because it's so difficult and expensive to produce, like say an electric company, that it doesn't make sense that you would have multiple businesses doing that. So naturally, you would become a monopoly. Oh, clever. So natural monopolies tend to be more efficient because of a concept called economies of scale. Economies of scale, this means low production costs resulting from the large size of output. So if you are doing something on a very small scale, then it's going to be more expensive for you to produce than if you're doing it on a larger scale. And on the largest scales, they're going to be able to do it for even the cheapest prices. So kind of like when you buy Sam's Club, some things it doesn't make sense to get at Sam's Club because it's really expensive. But if you're producing in bulk, it's going to make a lot more sense. So therefore, since you can produce in bulk, usually you're getting discounts in price. When natural monopolies exist, the government actually does regulate them very closely to guarantee quality and fair prices are actually being offered. Another market failure is externalities. These exist when some of the cost or benefits that are associated with production or consumption of a good or service actually spill over to third parties other than the direct producers and consumers. So people that aren't paying for it are actually still getting some of these things even though. So these are like side effects, leftovers that other people are getting. So when an action of a product imposes a negative side effect on a third party, it is considered a negative externality. And these negative externalities are sometimes considered to be social cost. So one example of a negative externality, secondhand smoke. So you don't smoke, someone around you does, so you're getting some of the negative side effects even though you didn't make the decision to smoke yourself. Pollution from a factory. We love things from factories. We love our cheap plastic junk. But there are side effects. It does provide pollution for the air, possibly for the streams around it. So that is considered a negative externality. When an action of a product actually imposes a positive side effect on a third party, it is considered a positive externality. Sometimes these are considered to be social benefits. There's an issue with these. It's called a free rider problem, which once you have done this, many people are benefiting, but there's really no way to keep people that didn't actually pay for it from still benefiting from it. So an example we're going to use, so let's say we produce the dam for hydroelectricity. So it goes through the turbines. Basically, it produces electricity. So that might be the primary purpose for the dam. But a fun side effect, it's actually providing flood control for the people that live downstream. So hey, that's a positive side effect. And also this area up here, you have actually created a recreational lake. So, hey, there's a fun little recreational place. We can come and have fun now because they flooded out this river so that they could actually have a dam. So, hey, positives. The social benefits that are created through positive externalities encourage the creation of public goods, which are goods or services that the government actually supplies in situations involving shared consumption and or non-exclusion. So this brings us to a couple things. Shared consumption product. This is a product that can be used by more than one person at the same time or simultaneously without reducing the amount of the product that's available for others to produce. So for instance, look at this, multiple cars on the same roads. It doesn't actually affect their ability to use the roads. Multiple can use it at the same time. It doesn't hurt anything. You got library, multiple people going to the library. It doesn't affect anyone if multiple people are going to the library. Multiple people go to school. It doesn't affect anyone if multiple people are at the same school at the same time. It's like public goods can be used by multiple people at the same time, and it doesn't really hurt anything. Also, public goods are also characterized by being non-exclusion products, meaning a product that once produced cannot actually be withheld even from those who do not pay for it. So we pay for highways with gasoline tax, but if you had a bike and you don't actually have to pay for gasoline, you could still use that road. There's nothing that stops you from using that road. So you're benefiting from it. You can't be excluded even though you didn't actually pay for it. Public school. So Oliver Springs, we have a nice percentage of the population that is out of county. So you're not actually paying for the facilities, but we still let you have the facilities when you're here. So all of these might be used by people that didn't actually pay for that. Some examples, national defense, public education, libraries, flood control, street lights, post office. I mean, lots of things are going to be examples of public goods. Another market failure, the lack of reliable information can have very negative effects on markets. Information allows consumers to do many things like make well-informed purchases. It also helps people that are unemployed find work. Information also allows business managers to alter resources away from faltering ventures. So when you lack information, that makes it difficult for you to do certain things in the economy. And the last market failure, lack of specialized skills or lack of money can actually limit the ability of workers to move from declining to expanding industries. So if you're in a dead-end job, you know it's a dead-end job, but you have no skills, it's really going to limit your ability to move from that into a place where there are more job opportunities. All right, that concludes economic competition and the role of the government. Section B, market failures. Our prioritized standard again was Economic Standard 33, and objectively now you can identify the different types of market failures that are possible.